When you heard, what went through your head? First thought.
First was, oh no, not another one. And the second thought was just how bizarre and how sad and how frightening it is that these people are ending their own lives. That's the tough part of it. And having been a performing artist for 32 years, over half my life, I've been in that business, and knowing what you go through, knowing the struggles to take an idea and turn it into something that seems real to people, takes so much talent and so many chops that sometimes that ability to make an idea or a thought or even a fear real can be overwhelming. You know, that's that down part. When you're on a high, you're creating, you're making people happy, you're sharing a vision because you're good at wordsmithing and you can envision the stuff. But when you're sad and depressed and lonesome and you're like in that place where we have all been, where there are days we feel sorry for ourselves, there's days when we think back and look at the things we wish we had done different in our lives. When you make a living creating images and making them super real, then I think that kind of hits you harder. I think that's kind of the nature of the beast, and just like when race car drivers have a wreck, they do it at 200 miles an hour. And so when people who are performing artists have a mental or emotional wreck, it's at 200 miles an hour, because that's what we do. That's how we work our every single day. We wake up creating, thinking, pushing out there what's on the limits of our head. Where can we go? And when it's the bad stuff, it seems to be bigger and badder. Robin Williams unlocked the door to the concept of don't be a slave to your act. You do not have to go on stage or on camera and stick to the script or the prepared material. That was a turning point in stand-up, in my opinion, because that gave all of us coming up through the ranks an idea of, wait a minute, we get to be in the moment. It's not just preparing that script and performing it by rote, if you will. It is have your stuff prepared, but be open and vulnerable, if you will, and accessible to what is happening in that theater or that comedy club or on the set, wherever you're at. Be able to go with that flow, and if you can make it funny and or interesting, you're doing it right. So that's one of the big contributions that I think Robin Williams gave to us stand-up comics is, dude, you don't have to go down the list. Go up there, and if there's a weird noise, if the lights flicker, if something strange happens, have fun with it, you know, create, and don't be afraid to step out of the prepared stuff. I think he was really one of the first people to really show that as an art form. And we became, as far as his stand-up and his interviews go, we got to where we expected the unexpected from him.
Because if it didn't happen, then it wasn't a good show. Because
and it wasn't him.
Yeah.
Because when you heard he was going to be on, you're like, let's see what happens. Not let's see what his set or his material is, let's see what happens. So he was the one that kind of showed us all that it's okay to do that. There's the same skills you use to be the wise cracking guy in school and that quick wit that got you there. It is okay to use that and to experiment and to walk out on the end of the pier with it and see what happens. When I first started out, I was a prop act. I was a Gallagher fan because I liked the element of surprise and whatever he would pull out of his box.
Which was spontaneous too.
Which was, well, they say props are the enemy of wit.
Oh, really?
You know, but Gallagher had great stand-up to go with it, and he worked the crowd well. But with that being said, Robin Williams was the one that had us all realize you can make it look like everything you're doing is spur of the moment. Everything he did wasn't, but he was so good at going off on the tangents, if you will, that became a staple of his act. And that's when we all went, holy moly, we can go up there and relax and have fun with our audience and play with them, as opposed to preach them at them or doing a show at them, if you will. In the old vaudeville days, they oftentimes didn't even acknowledge the audience, you know. And as we have all progressed through time and stuff, and you want to make your when you're an entertainer, you want to touch people and be intimate and make each and every person feel like it's about them or something they know about. And the way to do that is to be relaxed and to take them at that moment to somewhere just your group got to go. Mm-hmm. So that was one of the cool things. Plus he had the skill level to be a great actor. Stand-up comedy and comedic acting are two totally different art forms. And he was one of those super, super talented guys that could put those both together. So that was another thing that's going to be hard. That's going to make those shoes harder to fill, because he wasn't just great at stand-up or at acting. He could do both of them at the top level.